There is no question that one of the finest crime novelists in Maine is Paul Doiron. He is out with his new book. It is called Hatchet Island. It features his longtime protagonist, an investigator for the Maine Game Warden Service, Mike Bowditch, and Paul Doiron is back with us on 207. Thanks so much for coming in. Good to have you here.
It's always great to be here, Rob.
Lucky 13. How does this feel?
I don't believe it until I look at the books on my shelves.
Wow. 13 books. You've turned out 13 books in 13 years. Is that right?
It is.
I mean, you are.
I'm a factory.
I was going to say you're a machine, and then I paused because I thought that's probably not complimentary to a talented writer. This story is set on an island that is a sanctuary for seabirds, an island off the coast of Maine, and bad things happen there. Let's talk, though, about the setting. Where did the inspiration come from? Where was the idea that popped into your head that this would be a good place for the setting for the book?
A number of years ago, my wife and I visited one of these islands and through Maine Audubon. And when we got there, we were greeted by 3 young female interns. And I said, oh my gosh. They were saying, oh, the local lobstermen are so nice. They're here every day bringing us ice cream and lobsters. And of course, my murderous imagination is thinking, you know, they're so exposed, anything could happen.
On the one hand, with a story that's set on an island off the coast, you've got this great atmosphere, and I'm sure that provides you with really good material. On the other hand, you don't have a lot of people, so then your challenge is to get people into the story and make it work on that level. Was it challenging?
Yeah, it is. I mean, somebody described it as like writing an Agatha Christie novel where it's a locked room, you know, where there's only so many people who could possibly have done it, and that is always a challenge. It's less a matter of bringing in a number of people so much as making sure that everybody has a motive.
It must have been fun for you to write, though, because you yourself are an avid birder.
I am.
Been doing it for, well, let me put it this way. When you met the woman who would become your wife a quarter century ago, yeah. What did she say to you?
She said, if you want to date me, you better take up birding. And at the time, like a lot of guys in their 20s, I was like, oh, I'm not sure I'm quite ready for that. But, you know, many years later, I'm still married to her, and I'm actually a decent birder, I'm proud to admit. How much of it have you done along the coast? I actually just got back from Machias Seal Island, which you know is a disputed island in the Bay of Fundy between Maine and Canada, and saw puffins and murres and razorbills and 2 breeding gannets, which would be the only breeding gannets in the United States. So
this is, again, good fodder for you as a novelist, because this is not something that most writers would do, is say, all right, I want to work seabirds into my murder story. So I assume that when you sat down to write every day or every other day, whatever your schedule is, that it would be with, you know, a little perhaps more enthusiasm than you might otherwise have, just because this is something that you are into yourself.
The problem that I have with these kinds of books is I have too much information, and I have to edit, I have to focus and winnow out extraneous things. Sometimes when I don't know as much, I have less to work with, and that keeps me, you know, honest in terms of the writing.
Your main character, Mike Bowditch, who a lot of people in Maine know because you've, as we've talked about, written 13 of these books. He's been the lead character in every one. How does it feel after all these years? Are you and Bowditch still getting along well?
Yeah, I always say I hope I never meet him in real life because he's going to punch me for all the indignities I've put him through. But yeah, because I focus on his character in each book and want him to be growing constantly, it keeps it fresh for me, and I hope it keeps it fresh for the readers too.
There was a review, I think it was in Publishers Weekly that I was looking at, that said that you are at the top of your game. Very favorable review for this book, this Hatchet Island.
Now, I'd like to think I can go higher, but I'll take the compliment.
Yeah, it's a good one. Great to have you back, as always. Paul Doiron.
Thank you, Rob.
The new book is called Hatchet Island, and we've got more information on it that you can find on our website and app. Stick around. We're going to be back with more right after this.